excellent strength and perfect clarity is the 5x5.
It's Real Talk with David and Nikki. Stay tuned for hot topics, gossip, and a little shade on the 5x5.
Welcome back. It is Real Talk with David and Nikki. Except there's no Nikki with us tonight. She was on last night during our Halloween special. So look at the old episodes and you'll be able to see Can You Afford That? And also our Halloween special that we did last night. Actually, it was pretty funny. But I'm here. It's just going through everyday life sometimes. Not that it's difficult. It's just interesting. And some things I just have to share because to me, after the moment happens, it's like, oh my God, that's really, really funny. Although I was really, really pissed. So I thought I would share that moment with you guys tonight. And welcome to November. October is over. Halloween is over. I will be talking more about Movember in the coming weeks, possibly on Tuesday, but it is Movember, and I'll tell you what that significance is next week. But today, this story or show is about bad service at fast food establishments. And not just a bad service, it's going through drive-through. And I know everybody has an experience. So if you guys want to call in and share your experience, the phone number is 914-803-4988. I think I forgot to introduce myself. I guess, no, I am David. And you guys can call in or send me a tweet at the 5x5, which the 5s are numeric. And also you can check out past shows on recycleblogtalk.blogspot.com, or you can check out the Facebook page, which Facebook page is the 5x5 completely spelled out. But back to the matter at hand. For a quick part of the first part of the show tonight, I was at McDonald's, and of course, you guys, if you listen to the show, you know that I'm a man of a particular size. I'm a big boy. I like to eat. I do a lot of fast food. I know I shouldn't, but it is what it is. And I don't know why these places think they can trick you. And sometimes I'm going to say this, and it's going to come off a little stank and maybe a little racist, but why are some of the more, I would say, inner city fast food establishments so hood? I mean, I can't believe how y'all act. You know, I was at McDonald's a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, a particular McDonald's that's close to where I live and more convenient to get to, but it happens to be a little bit more hood, and it's mixed with the gas station. And so I go in there, and I'm waiting. And so there's a manager and then one of the cashiers who's getting the food and stuff. And so I just happened to ask, I'm like, hey, it couldn't take that long to make a double cheeseburger. You know, at this point, I was like waiting 15, going on 20 minutes. You know, and I was talking to people, so that had, occupied most of my time because I had seen some people that I knew. And so I'm talking to them, and then I noticed, like, oh my God, I've been here for a long time. Y'all need to give me my food. And so the young lady's like, well, you're just going to have to wait. This is the clerk. I'm like, excuse me? She's like, well, we're cooking some fresh something. I'm like, you should have been able to cook several fresh somethings, as long as I've been standing here. And she tells the manager, who never addressed me, had her back to me, and she's like, I think he's getting upset. And you know what this chick says? She says, I don't care. Loud enough so I could hear it, and everybody else that was in there. And I start laughing too. I'm like, yeah, this is what you get for coming up here, but she didn't care. Of course, I sent a scathing email to the corporate offices. It didn't help them because nobody. This particular chain is owned by one person. He owns like 7 in the city, and you have to lead by example. And if the owner doesn't care, and then how can you expect your employees to express good customer service to his customers? But I'm like, whatever. But then I finally get my food, and that's one thing I will say. McDonald's has the best chocolate chip cookies. I know I don't need to be eating McDonald's, a big gulp drink and some cookies, but they have the best cookies, especially if they're fresh. And so I didn't check because I thought I was pretty much paying attention. I was inside, and I never really go inside because I'm always rushing around. And and so when I get home and I'm ready to tear this Big Mac up. I got my little fries out, and then I was just waiting because I won't eat my dessert until my food is completely gone. And so I'm sitting there. I finished my Big Mac. I finished my fries. I'm still drinking on my Coke. I open my cookies. Get 3 for $1 or whatever. And they had pulled a fast one. I guess they didn't have any chocolate chip cookies. They gave me 2 chocolate chip cookies and 1 what's that, oatmeal raisin. It was good, but that's not what I wanted. I paid the money for it, so I was going to eat it. But I'm like, that's not I ordered. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense. How hard could it be? I worked in fast food when I was in high school. I think my junior year, my junior summer going into my senior year, all through my senior year of high school, I worked at Hardee's. It was my very first job. And not that I really didn't care about it because I knew I wasn't staying there, after high school. But I was like, I had fun, and I've always done what I'm supposed to do. And except I don't do bathrooms, and I was very friendly with one of the female managers, very friendly as she really liked me because I was a boy. And so she never requested that I clean the bathroom. But I don't remember having those kind of problems. The kids nowadays that are coming up in 2001 up to the present day 2013, I don't understand the attitude or the lack thereof respect or even respect for themselves. A part-time job while you're in high school is just that. It is a part-time job, but I think the subjective term in that phrase is job. It's still a job. They're still paying you. And even though I didn't take it too seriously, but I knew my behavior would reflect on how my parents raised me, and I knew they raised me a particular way, not to have an attitude with adults, no back talking, do what you're told to do, and then come home. And so that's how I chose to live my life. But I don't know what the kids now are thinking, because the bad attitude just doesn't cut it, and it's not going to cut it. But anyhow, I want to send a quick shout out to my cousin. His name is Chris Bailey. You can find some information about him. If you go to the blog, I do have a link to his artwork. He designed the new artwork / logo for Real Talk with David and Nikki, that part of the 5x5. And it was phenomenal. He's a great artist. He's currently he's working on a tune called Drinkable Days. I think if you go to deviantart.com/BaileyBot, you can see the rest of his art. He's a very talented young man, and he didn't charge me, but it looks phenomenal. It has a caricature of me and Nikki, and I just want to give him a shout out because he's done some amazing work on that logo, and I appreciate it. I've been meaning to say something, but the last 2 episodes, it kind of slipped my mind, and I wasn't going by a script the last 2 episodes. But thank you, Chris. We appreciate you. We're going to have him on the show. He said, I begged him. I said, please let me do an interview on the show because he's doing some things in the cartooning industry that hopefully he'll be very, very well. Not hopefully. I know he's going to be very successful at. So we'll get him on, and we'll have a Fanboy Weekly, and we'll talk about some comic books and what he's doing and what he's thinking about the oncoming Marvel shows with Thor, Captain America, and then next year's X-Men Days of Future Past. But we're going to take a really quick break, and we'll be right back.
Podcasting straight to your MP3 player. Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Alright, straight up and down. Girl, you cold-hearted. Let me see your resume. Let's get it started. And you got that super tongue and your ass so fat it's retarded. Pardon, I just won't whip it and poke it. All I need is a swig of the dawkins. Then I'm a dog, get off and ballin'. Shit on the offense, drinkin' whippers with the jaw and stealing them softly. Like bitch, I'm this shit and you know this. Step out my outfit, pimpin' in motion. Yo, pussy, I own it. Ain't gotta be mine for me to control it. I'm all in your zone it. Like what is you want it?
That is Tanashi. That song is my jam. She's a Reverb. I found her on Reverb Nation. Now I can jam to that song. That song is called "Who Am I Working For?" And I don't know why this chick hasn't blown up. I mean, if I listen to that song, I'm just like jamming. If you guys can see, I'm moving, I'm jamming. But my real dancing days are over. I can't put on more high heels and twerk I used to. But anyhow, so back to what we were talking about. We were talking about fast food service. So I gave you a past story of what happened to me at McDonald's, but the big story, drum roll please, was what happened to me last night. And if you guys had listened to the Halloween episode last night, you know I had to go to work. So I did the Halloween episode last night at 10:30. I had to be at work at midnight. Because I was going to do it at 11:30. I had to be at work at midnight. So I left my house extra early so I could go get me something to drink and then go get me something to eat. And so I'm like, well, I didn't want any Taco Bell. I didn't want McDonald's. I didn't want Burger King. I'm like, ooh, Wendy's. Food's always really hot. The bread's really soft. It's going to be good. I can make it out there before they close because they close at 12 o'clock. And so I get my stuff. I'm going. I'm like, okay, I have 30 minutes. I can get out here in 10. That's going to be 11:40. And then I can get to work. It shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. And it takes me 10 minutes to get to work from where this local Wendy's is. So I roll out there, and there was one car in front of me. And then I was pulling behind him, so I ordered my food, and the girl at the drive-through intercom system thing, she was nice enough, I guess. So I told her, I said, and don't y'all make any comments. I ordered off the value menu. I didn't need anything to drink because I got me an 89-cent drink at the gas station, and because I was working midnight, so I wanted things to munch on through the night. I hadn't had anything to eat. I don't think yesterday even at all. I think I might have snacked on something with nothing to eat. So then I was like, well, I'll probably want something, in the middle of the shift. So I said, let me get me enough. I'll just warm it up. So I ordered a junior bacon cheeseburger, a 4-piece nugget, a value fry, and a value chicken sandwich. That was 4 items. That stuff's not that big, but I am a big boy and I like to eat, so don't you judge me. And so I did that. It was like $5, something like that, because the junior cheeseburgers are no longer 99 cents. They are $1.60. Junior bacons are $1.69. So it's 11:40 when I placed my order. At 11:55, the person in front of me is still waiting at the window. And so I'm still back at the pay window, and so I see the girl and I wave her over. I said, "Well, what's going on? I've been here for 15 minutes. I need to get to work." And she's like, "Oh, there's a whole bunch of young boys up there that don't know what they're doing." And I see all this jumbling around like a circus atmosphere in the kitchen. I'm in the drive-thru, and I'm like, tell them to hurry up because I need to go. So the manager comes over there, and he looks like he's maybe 14 years old. I know he wasn't, but he's 14 years. He looks 14 years old to me because I'm an old man. And so I said, hey, what is going on? I ordered 4 things off the value menu. It's 15 minutes. We make everything to order. I understand that. It's still 15 minutes. I can make a burger at my house in 5. And he said, oh, let me see, and I'll bring it back to this window. And so I called my job because at this point I know I'm going to be late. I said, I'm probably going to be about 5 minutes late. He said, okay. The person I was relieving, he's pretty cool. So I said, I'm sorry, I'll be there. And so I pull up to the where they give you the food out, the delivery window, I guess you'd call it. And I'm still waiting, just waiting, nothing major. I'm still in a rush, but I'm like, okay, so it's now 12 o'clock. So I've been waiting a total of 20 minutes for 4 items off the value menu, and they're miniature size. It's not like they're big quarter-pound burgers or half-pound burgers or anything. And so I see this young dude, and there's people dropping water on the floor. There's one guy back and forth. There's laughing going on. There's some running. And so this young guy, he comes to the window. He's like, first the manager's like, he said, do you need sauces? I'm like, yeah, I'd like honey mustard. And so then another young guy that looked 7 brings my food to the window. And normally, since I was in a rush, I would just drive off because I was upset. And so I said, no, let me look at my bag. And so I look at my bag and I see there's fries in the bottom of a container, and then there's 2 wrap sandwiches, and one seemed bigger than what it really was supposed to be. And then I see the nuggets. So something told me, David, look at your nuggets, because I'm thinking they probably burned them or they're probably really old. And at that point, if they were just a little old and maybe just a little burnt, I would have said, I'd have been mad, but I would have accepted it. And so, and so I pull the nuggets out of the bag, and there's 2 nuggets inside the little nugget container. I'm like, what? And so I think I'm crazy. So I pull everything out of the bag, make sure that I have, sometimes those things tip over in the bag. And I'm like, do you really think, and this is what I'm saying to myself, that I wasn't going to count these? And so I start blaring my horn, toot, 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 toot. And so the little guy's like, what's your problem? I'm like, dude, I said, do you think I can't count? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, you gave me 2 nuggets. And he said, well, let me check. I'm like, you think I'm going to lie about 2 nuggets? I didn't say it. 2 nuggets. And so he takes my bag and he's funneling my food or whatever. And then I look at my junior bacon, and it happens to not be it's like a deluxe burger or something. No bacon on it whatsoever. I didn't look at the other sandwich. I'm like, surely that has to be fine. So I didn't look because that was supposed to be chicken. It was in a chicken wrapper. And so the guy's like, well, it's going to take us another 4 minutes. At this point, it's 12:02. It's going to take us another 4 minutes to get you 2 more nuggets. My thing is, you never should have given me 2 nuggets to start with. 4. That's easy. And he's like, oh, well, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm like, where is the manager? At this point, there is steam coming out of your boy's face. I know my eyes were spinning around in my head, and I did Linda Blair some justice because I know my head starts spinning in form of The Exorcist. You know what I'm saying? And so so the manager, he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I said, on top of that, you didn't even put my honey mustard in the box. He's like, oh, I don't know what to do. And he's freaking out because I could be a little aggressive. My assertiveness turns into aggression. I said, this is ridiculous. And he's like, I'm going to get your money back. And he runs back. He goes somewhere, and I see people running inside. And they're like, what's going on? Why is this food wrong? And there's a lot of chaos going on inside. He comes back and he's throwing my $5 bill and my 3 cents through the window, and then he throws a bag of food. He's like, I threw an extra sandwich in there, and I'm sorry, and I gave you some more fries, and I'm just really sorry. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, this is what happened when somebody's not really prepared to be a manager, and sometimes maturity, and sometimes age does not always indicate how mature someone is. And so I can see his flush. I'm like, just forget it. Give me my food so I could go. So he gave me my money back. He said, just take the food. And so when I get to work, I'm like 8 minutes late at this point because it was really close. I took a back cut, so I got there really close. And plus, there's no traffic. It's 12 o'clock. There's no traffic, and I get to work, and I finally, get settled. So I start looking at my food. They give me the one. Of course, there was no nuggets. The nugget situation was done. They wouldn't give me no nuggets. They only had 2 nuggets, and they wasn't thinking about me wanting no nuggets. So I didn't get any nuggets, which that's what I wanted. I was going to eat that later because it's easy. Pop it in the little microwave, and there's 4. Boom, 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 and I'm done. And so I had 3 wrap sandwiches and a turned over fry container with a ton of fries that were all burnt and greasy at the bottom of the bag. And not that I don't like greasy fries, but you have to get those at Zestos. If you get some of Zestos in your city, you know what I'm talking about. And so I look at the first sandwich. It's the same junior cheeseburger that was supposed to be a bacon burger that I ordered. So that it's edible. I can eat it. That's fine. The next sandwich was a double stacker that had lettuce, tomato, and stuff on it, and it was so much like mayonnaise and mustard and ketchup that the bun was really soggy and the meat was really tough, and I'm like, so I threw that away. And then the third sandwich, which remember I told you there was a sandwich that seemed bigger than the rest of them, I'm like, oh, this should be the chicken sandwich. That's what I'm going to eat, and I'll eat my fries, and that'll be my little dinner until I'll eat later in the night. And so I proceed to open it, and this is a huge sandwich. I mean, huge. And then I'm like, what is this? And when I tell you there was more mayonnaise on this sandwich, I mean, I can't even tell you how much. It's like a whole, you know how the little squirt bottles of mayonnaise that you squirt out and stuff? It's like they squirt the whole thing because they was trying to camouflage the chicken sandwich. It wasn't a fried chicken sandwich. It was one that I know maybe they were saying I was too fat, but they gave me a whole bunch of mayonnaise. That I needed one of those. I guess it was the chicken breast that's baked or broiled or something, not fried. And it's dry. It's so thin. It's like all the meat had, since it was so old. It looks like they had laid it up under the fry bin, and it had been there maybe 3-4 days. They put it in the microwave, piece of bread, put a whole bunch of lettuce, and then all this mayonnaise on top, thinking I wouldn't notice. Of course, it wasn't edible. I mean, and then it stunk. I'm like, y'all are not killing me, And I'm like, I can't believe even though you gave me money back, you gave me poor service. And so, of course, I have my laptop at work with me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm sending you guys an email, and I sent an email, and the manager, he's, I'm very sorry. I'm going to send you some coupons out. I don't know what was going on. I'm going to talk to him tonight. Doing is one thing, and saying is another. So I'm like, gosh. So I'm never going to go back out there again. If he does send me coupons, and that's a big if, there's another Wendy's on the other side of town that I will be patronized, and it won't be this one anymore. So anyhow, that was my fast food story. I haven't did a true story in a long time. I guess there's a lot of stuff going on. So in the weeks to come, maybe I'll share some personal things that are going on in my life, and they are bad things, but it's not me specifically. It's like things around me that's going on, and you guys will hear about it in the weeks to come. But I hope you guys are well. Thank you guys for listening as always. A quick shout out to my boys on the crew, Donovan from Off Limits, Ken Boggle from Ken Boggle Talk on Blog Talk Radio, here at Blog Talk Radio, Off Limits on Spreaker. And I were doing a show together called The Crew. So if you go to Spreaker and type in The Crew Show, you will see our very first episode, which debuted yesterday on Halloween. It was a Halloween-themed episode, and more provocative topics will be coming in the future. We're going to do it weekly, every week at Thursday. It'll be posted at some point between 5 and midnight. So it will be posted every Thursday. 3 different guys, 3 different opinions, 3 different points of view on one singular topic every week. So check us out. Also want to send one of my friends on Spreaker, because I'm on, the 5x5 is on Spreaker and Blog Talk Radio. One of my friends on Spreaker, Dwayne Hadley, the Dwayne Hadley Show. He's always so very, very kind and giving me so many good compliments and comments. And you need people to pump you up sometime, and he definitely does that for me. So thank you, Dwayne. Check out his show on Spreaker. Give him a follow. Give him a like. Also, the Me Plus Cake podcast, another podcast that I'm enjoying. And then my boys, the shows that they do, they're very Off Limits and Ken Boggle Talk. So thank you guys for listening. A lot of stuff coming up. It's November, holiday season that's ready to kick off. I'm debating on whether to buy a PlayStation 4, which comes out in America on November the 15th, I believe, for $399. That's kind of steep, because I was like, I have 3 months of expense account money that I haven't turned in yet, and I'm like, what I want to buy is the expense account money. I was going to buy the new iPad Air, which they said is phenomenal, or do I buy a PlayStation 4? So that's a debate. So that'll be coming. And then it is Movember, and it's a healthcare awareness month for Movember for men. So we will talk about that on Tuesday. Thank you guys for listening. This is David from the 5x5. Nikki will be back with us next week. Thank you guys for listening as always. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on iTunes. Check us out on Twitter. And also check us out on Stitcher. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Check us out on Facebook at the 5x5, or tweet us at the 5x5, or go to Recycle Blog Talk for past shows. Thanks for tuning in.